What is going on in here?
Oh, hey Adam. We're just we're just jamming out.
Yeah, we're doing the theme song.
We're doing the theme song.
I didn't know you knew how to play the piano, Alex.
Well, yeah, you taught me. Don't you remember all those days and nights where I watched you play piano through the window in order to learn?
And that's how you learned?
Yeah, of course.
Real visual learner, Alex.
I am. That's one of my talents. Visual learner, bad at social skills.
And Mike, you're behind the old drum kit there.
Yeah. I haven't played drums in ages.
Yeah, that thing is full of cat litter. Oh my god. That is a lot.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, is that yours, Alex?
Yeah, he's been using it. I figured it would make like a maraca sound when I banged on it, but it's kind of just gross, being honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Soggy.
Oh, I was just gonna say we figured we'd play the old intro just for old time's sake.
It was surprisingly cohesive. I didn't know. I mean, the last time you played drums was such a disaster for everyone involved.
I'm trying to move past that.
Famously, you were on stage with Billy Joel at the Garden, and he did a surprise cover of "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins, and you missed the drop.
We're so sorry to this day that Adam and I missed that.
Yeah,
Only hearing about it in legend.
I have been trying to forget about that ever since, but I figured that now I've overcome my nervous response from that, and I think we're doing okay. I think I can do this. I think I can play the theme song today.
Who was playing the bass? I heard the bass.
Oh, yeah, me.
Through. You're playing the bass.
That was me. I got.
You're both playing the bass. Oh, I've heard of a double bass, but this is ridiculous.
Mike, have we been accidentally footsying this whole time?
I think we have. I think we've both been playing. We've got the bass pedals like that guy from Rush,
like Geddy Lee.
Like Geddy Lee. Yeah. And so yeah, I guess we were both hitting it at the same time. Yeah.
Wow, it sounded good.
Well, you know what they say.
What do they say, Alex?
DP, double pedal.
Double pedal to the double metal. Oh, great. You guys, were you were recording that? Are you're doing like a demo? Are you guys trying to like?
It was for our podcast.
For this podcast?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
you're okay with us playing that, right?
Oh yeah, that saves me some work of putting the song in afterwards. You mixed it okay, and it doesn't sound like absolute garbage?
No, of course not.
We'll find out.
All right.
And you know what? For this week only, if it sounds like garbage, you can blame Mike and I.
Yes, for this week only.
By the way, that's Mike, and I'm Alex.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, I'm Mike.
Well, I guess... Great job.
Thank you. We did it. We got in the intro in the first 15 minutes for freaking once. I'm proud of us.
Well, actually, we haven't
Just
yet.
figure we get it out of the way. And that's Adam, by the way, the one who is so strongly talking about Geddy Lee.
I mentioned him once.
You did.
In passing.
You did? Oh.
Actually, Mike brought him up.
Listen, I'm the Rush head here. I don't know about anything else.
Yes, you famously love Rush. Give me your top 5 Rush songs.
Well, definitely Tom Sawyer. I mean, that's the easiest one, but like, I mean,
the easiest one in what way?
Hate it? The most famous one.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's a good one. I mean, I like Limelight. I like yeah.
Oh, that is a good song.
I like I mean, Closer to the Heart's always a classic. You got Subdivision. Yeah, Subdivisions is good. Anything off of Signals, I'm a big fan of.
Wow,
Mike's not a fake fan.
I think he only named 4 songs, but
and an album.
I named an album. I'm sorry.
I count it. I give him like an 85.
Oh, I mean Fly By Night. How did I forget Fly By Night? Fly By Night also works.
You know,
it's
on the
really that's my number 5.
The cover of Signals, the dog and the fire hydrant. That is the fire hydrant that we parked on last week.
It is famously just outside of Lynbrook, New York.
Not a lot of people know about.
That would be the one that we balanced off.
Not a lot of people know about Rush's Lynbrook period, where
a lot happens here.
They came down from Toronto. It's sort of like how the band went up to Woodstock to play with Bob Dylan. Rush came to Lynbrook to play with Billy Joel, but Billy wasn't available. He had a scheduling conflict, so they ended up just recording Signals.
I'm pretty sure... Yeah, that's exactly it. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that Rush predates Billy Joel, but I'm not 100% sure on that one.
They didn't end before he started.
Yeah, no, you're right. No,
Haven't you ever heard of an older artist taking a younger one under their wing? Eric Clapton and B.B. King in the 90s driving around in that car. Is that a reference that anybody but me knows? Right.
What are you referencing exactly? Are you referencing like a music video?
I'm referencing the video for the Eric Clapton song "Riding with the King."
Nope. Right over my head.
You know what, Adam? I'm pretty sure that's one of the deepest cuts that we put on this podcast, and that's saying something. I was gonna say.
I'm putting a link down on the table so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. I don't actually
know
know
about that young artist Eric Clapton,
who we agree with his politics 100%. Just so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And it turns out it may not be the music video and only be the album cover, or it is both the music video and the album cover.
Adam, this is such a deep cut that there is no... Oh, okay, never mind. I was going to say, I clicked the link and Wikipedia just came on a blank page. I was going to say, this is such a deep cut that Wikipedia doesn't even listen to it.
It's not that deep a cut. This won the 2001 Grammy Award for Best Traditional Blues Album, the most important Grammy.
Yeah, no. No, I've seen, now that I'm looking at the album cover, I have seen this image before. I just did not have it.
Well, this picture was taken in Lynbrook, too.
Yes, it was. They were also on their way to find the Signals fire hydrant.
You can't see in that picture. If you're listening to this, go look at the cover of Riding with the King by Eric Clapton.
Unless you're driving.
What you can't see in this picture is that they are parked on top of the fire hydrant from Signals.
If you are driving, pull over right now. I don't care if you're on the side of a highway. Pull onto a fire hydrant just to get the image of what Eric Clapton and B.B. King were experiencing when they took that picture.
This is going to be an interesting lawsuit when they come to us and tell us what happened to that fire hydrant.
Oh, yeah. Well, we stopped recording before we drove away. This is Everybody Loves Raymond, by the way. But before we drove away, or after we drove away last week, we took the fire hydrant out. It got caught in our catalytic converter, and we drove off with the fire hydrant. And, unfortunately, as we're recording this, it's winter. So all of the kids, of course, anytime a fire hydrant bursts open, all of the kids in the neighborhood come out and play in it.
That's how it goes.
In the summertime, it's fun, but in the wintertime, so the kids jumped into the fire hydrant spray and it immediately froze. So there were about 45 kids stuck in a giant geyser of water or ice at that point.
It's now, they've actually already changed the landmark. Actually, it's interesting. Google Maps hasn't changed it yet, but Pokemon Go has changed the location. So now it doesn't say the Signals fire hydrant. It says the Signals ice sculpture. And they've just accepted
because it froze in the shape of that Dalmatian.
Yeah,
if you don't
it's kind
know,
of a miracle.
If you don't know the cover of Signals, pull over.
Again.
Ideally, I don't care if you just started. You got to pull over. Your blinker's going to be working big time.
You pulled over to look at Riding with the King. You're back on the road. You've been driving for a few minutes.
You decided, I'm good. I'm clear.
I've done all my research.
Yeah. Not anymore. We want you to pull over, Google Signals Rush album, and then look. That's the image we're working with here.
And of course, Billy came by to perform a stripped down, unplugged version of Running on Ice.
Yep.
I think that's everything. This is Everybody Loves Raymond. We're here in the recreational vehicle, which is now housing a drum set and an upright piano.
It's getting pretty crowded in here already.
Well, we got rid of
the
Funko Pops. They were taking up a lot of space. We moved that to Mike's public storage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he kept one.
I did.
He did keep the one.
I hung on to the Marie Spider-Man one. Like that one just makes me happy, so I left that on there. But the other 80-something, I've been moved to public storage.
It's Marie Barone in Spider-Man costume.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the mask is off. It's Marie Barone, but it's the Spider-Man costume.
You had them all in that cabinet, so I didn't really get to see. What are some of the other variations that they have of Marie Barone? Because as we established last week, the company was originally just an Everybody Loves Raymond fan memorabilia company that only produced, I think it was 89 Marie Barones. So you don't have to give us all 89, but why don't you give us 4 or 5?
Well, actually, it was okay. So the other 45.
No,
right,
4 or 5.
Line.
4 to 5.
4 or 5. Oh, okay. I was very excited. So they did a whole thing on a lot of the science fiction crossovers. So like they have for example Princess Leia, Marie Barone right there. They have I forget the name. I believe it's Kira, the captain in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Captain Kira as so she's like wearing the red shirt and all that stuff.
Yep.
We have
well, a lot of them are Star Trek.
Dundee. Yeah, well,
Crocodile
they have a lot of
Marie.
Star Trek. Yeah, they have a lot of Star Trek. They have Robert as Spock. They have Frank as Picard. They have all of
Frank
these,
as
all
Picard. Really, that's that one
That's an
seems like a
interesting choice.
miss for me.
I think they were just both bald.
I would have
that's why
done
they went with
Robert as Picard, or maybe Robert is Riker, but I don't see Robert as or I don't see Frank as Frank is like Worf.
Frank, yeah, you know what? That probably would have been a much better pull if Frank was indeed Worf. But I think that they just wanted the leads because they really didn't go too deep into like they did have a limited run of Doug from King of Queens as just a random Borg.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was Marie as Doug from King of Queens.
Oh my god!
No,
in the
Marie,
IPS uniform.
No. Marie was no. They didn't do that. They didn't do that. That would have sold. I want to emphasize that would have made bank, but they did not. They did not actually do that. They did, however, have Marie dressed up as Crocodile Dundee. For one, they had like a little crocodile underneath. She's actually
crocodile underneath.
Kind of weird. Yeah,
standing on a crocodile.
Crocodile. Yeah, crocodile underfoot. And it's actually pretty dark because she's clearly carrying a crocodile skin purse. So it's well,
as we established at the end of last season, I think we don't know enough about Crocodile Dundee to know whether he likes or dislikes crocodiles. So I don't know if that would be true to the character.
I don't know either, but that Marie clearly killed the crocodile and skinned it for her purse. I'm not saying that's in the legacy of the Crocodile Dundee. I'm just saying
it's not canon.
That is indeed. No,
the only Marie that's canon is the one of her as the dog from Signals.
Yeah, that's correct. That's absolutely right. Yeah.
Jesus.
They do have. I was impressed. I had to put this one to storage. It killed me to do it, but they did have a later season edition of Marie dressed as Avril Lavigne. So
that timeline works.
There was like a little bit of overlap, like in the later seasons and the start of Avril's career. So yeah, like they got the hairdo and the makeup and everything, and that one's my favorite probably.
How does that make you feel?
Complicated.
Okay.
Well,
this is Everybody Loves
maybe okay.
Loves Raymond. Welcome back to Everybody Loves Raymond. We're gonna cut that out again. very busy
Are we?
week. Well, I mean, I've got a busy week. I'll try, but you know, I've been like the last episode. I only had 30 minutes to edit that one, so
sometimes things go through.
together.
But
I've been very, very busy. I've been working on this podcast. I've been working on another podcast. So I'm, as you might remember from previous episodes, I've been, in exchange for moderate improvements to this recreational vehicle that serves as our mobile studio, I promised a fellow RV dweller to help his daughter record a AP English podcast for her teacher for extra credit. It's called the Joan Rogan Shakespeareans. Well, don't say like you don't remember this.
I remembered the Joan Rogan.
I
did actually forget that the reason why was because of the AP English project.
Yes.
I do apologize.
Her teacher is going to help her cheat on the AP exam.
Is that news? Did I know about that too?
Yeah, I mentioned that. So,
okay.
So we've recorded. We're doing 6 episodes. We've recorded 3, and we've been emailing them to the teacher. So it's not a wide release, but a couple of the other students have heard it apparently, and I do in fact know that one of the students who has heard it is also a resident of a different RV park. So there's Idlewild Pines, and then across the Belt Parkway from that is the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater Memorial RV Park, where all of the New York improvisers who used to go to the UCB, they live there now.
Wow, how poetic.
That must be terrible to live next to. Oh my god, they're just constantly screaming out.
Well, they can't do anything.
For suggestions. Yeah.
They can't make any decisions on their own.
They're constant complaints of wails of agony from the night. Just like, give me a word, give me a location.
Well,
give me a purpose. It's quite existential, actually.
Can we have a relationship is, it's almost like living next to a singles bar, because the amount of times you hear people yelling, can we have a relationship, is ridiculous. Living next to a singles bar, that's what I said. Stupid.
That's horrific.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, and unfortunately to park your RV there, so not only do these guys, and it is guys, it's mostly white men with beards and flannel shirts. Not only
they got hit hard.
Not only do they not have anywhere else to go, in order to park there, you have to do levels 1 through 4, and an advanced Herald seminar. So you're out, $2,000 on top of the rent that you have to pay there.
Which probably also astronomical.
Is the rent just fueling? The rent isn't just like to live there; it's to pay the improv instructor to keep doing classes at the RV park.
Yeah, and I do know that one of the that's the other RV park that's across the Belt Parkway from us, and I do know that one of the students who has heard the Joan Rogan Shakespeareans, he lives there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is he desperate to be a guest on this podcast now?
Well, yes, and more, because I emailed the teacher. She sees me. Jesus Christ, so many C's.
You'll get there.
She sees me on the email that she forwards to everyone of like, hey, new episode of the Joan Rogan Shakespeareans. This one's 3 hours long. It's about Taming of the Shrew, and they talk about vitamins for a long time. And one of the people that she sends it to is this kid. And he replied to me separately, started a separate thread, and he's like, he's in love with Joan Rogan.
Oh, damn.
And he asked me if I could set them up and sort of, facilitate a bit of a secret meeting because, the UCB RV park and the Idlewild Pines, we don't get along. KOA, the owner of the Idlewild Pines, who I talked about in a previous episode.
Yeah, KOA, yes, yeah.
She only likes sketch comedy. So she's banned us from crossing paths. So, there's a little border check when you pull into the park where you have to show your tags, and they don't like her either because she's antagonized them so much. So this kid, he wants to come, have a secret meeting with Joan, and he's asking me to facilitate him. And he seems like a sweet kid.
Well, isn't Joan in high school?
Yeah, she's 14. Yeah, she's a freshman. And no, that doesn't make sense.
AP English. She's very advanced.
She's very advanced. She's 14. She's a freshman, and he is, he's 15. He is a recent sophomore, and
he's 15, and he's already done levels 1 through 4 at the UCB.
God damn.
Well, these
are very advanced teenagers.
He's been living there since he was born, so right out the womb. He started taking classes.
They really indoctrinate him young.
It's in his blood. But he's a sweet kid. He's very shy. And I think I kind of want to get these two together. So I'm meeting with Ramio next week. And we're going to try to get them together. So I'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah, I can't believe you're doing this all in addition to our Everybody Loves Raymond podcast. This is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I mention, by the way, that Joan's full name is Joniette?
You did not.
So I'm trying to connect Ramio and Joniette.
That's your...
They're park.
Adam, please drive this RV so you can run me over.
They're park-crossed lovers.
Well, everyone, thank you for enduring 20 minutes of setup for that punchline.
Oh boy, we've been talking for a long time. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm helping Ramio and Joniette get together through the magic of podcasting. Mike, what have you been up to?
I mean, all things are going pretty good. Still working on the publication,
the manifesto.
The publication. I've been told that manifesto doesn't sell very well, so it's the publication.
In order for it to be a publication, it needs to get published, though.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Do you have a publisher lined up?
I will find one.
Okay.
And.
I don't believe you.
All right, listen. We're not shitting on dreams here. I need to remind you of that. I'm just trying to go on my own life.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the meetings at the
Starbucks bathroom
at the Flat Earth meeting house are going great. I'm making a lot of good friends. We talked about a few of them already.
Dylan.
But yeah,
Josh.
Dylan.
Was it Josh?
Yeah. Well, there is a Josh. I'm not sure if I talked about him before, but Josh is a good dude. But yeah, there are a few of them, and I'm actually hosting a backyard barbecue pretty
really
soon. So that should be pretty fun.
Yeah. Are we invited, or is it?
I mean, you have to confess the truth of Flat Earth in order to enter in.
So it's like that crappy dating service, Flatters Only.
Flatters
only. Yeah. First of all, it's not crappy. I know several. Josh met his wife through there, so that's there's something to it.
Josh met his wife through Flatters Only.
That is correct.
Well, that's not to be confused with Flatter Only, which is where you're only allowed to trade compliments. You're not allowed to talk about anything else.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Not to be confused with Flat Only, in which you're only allowed to use 2D representations of yourself. No pictures. You have to draw it.
There's a lot of Flat Stanley kink on that app.
It's most.
So I've heard.
Yeah. He's the default image on Flat Only is Flat Stanley, and then Flat Stanley with a bow, depending on which gender you choose.
It's surprising to me that Flat Stanley is not a representative for the Flat Earth community, much like Pepe the Frog is a representative for the alt-right community.
You're right, Alex. Flat Stanley. It wouldn't be surprising to me if Flat Stanley had been radicalized.
that's
He's got no
book.
dimension. That's the problem.
That's in the new book. It's yeah. I mean, I'm excited for the barbecue. I get to show these people some respect. I get to show these people some thanks.
It's like a sucking up kind of thing. Like you're trying to show, loyalty or deference to these people.
I mean, both yes and no. Like, it didn't start out that way, but I was kind of like, you know what? I'll I want to get in with these people. I'll impress them with my incredible backyard and incredible barbecue and stuff like that.
Your backyard is
the storage unit.
What?
Yeah, I've been living in the storage unit. Like, I just got the loft, but I talked to the renter, and he let me. Yeah, I have the storage
you're
unit,
subletting
and then I built
the
a loft.
storage unit.
Yeah,
Mike, I have a house. You can come bunk with me.
That's very kind of you, but I got the storage unit. I mean, I'm already paying for that. I'm paying for that. I'm paying for that for the Marie Funko Pops anyway.
The idea of subletting a storage unit is so fun to live in. Who are you subletting this storage unit from? Josh?
Oh, No. Josh has a different job. No, this guy is.
So this person's job is subletting storage.
Yeah.
And it's working.
Yeah, exactly.
You've gotten in with some sort of storage unit slumlord.
Well, I wouldn't call him a slumlord. He's actually charging me a reasonable rate. He's
That's not
kicking
what a
me out anytime soon.
is.
I don't know. Slumlord just seems like it's demeaning. This guy's never treated me poorly.
It doesn't really matter what a slumlord charges you. It's more about the condition of the building.
Well,
do you have running water or electricity?
Define running. And I mean, they got
plumbing.
I got electricity.
Water. You have a bathroom.
Down the hall. Yeah.
You have the public storage, public bathroom.
Yeah.
Mike, we had for the longest time a luxurious upper section of a skyscraper that you could have lived in.
You used to live in You used to live in a penthouse. How long have you been?
Well, no, we recorded it at penthouse.
Well, yeah, but you could have slept there. Have you been living in this? Have you been subletting this storage unit the whole time?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so go back. Yeah. Listener, go back and listen to our first season with in mind that Mike is leaving and coming to every recording session from a storage unit. It's at least a big one, right? Like the one that you put a car in. It's not like the closet.
Well, it's big. It's enough space for me. Significantly less space now that I put my
do you mean literally or like a reasonable amount?
You
of
mean
space?
enough space for an average-sized man?
Well, I mean, it's got to be pretty big. It's like it's vertically big because like I got the level for my ELR merch. And then I got another level for like my bed and stuff. So like,
so you have like an elevator shaft version.
A ladder, yeah.
You've built a loft out of your Marie Barone Funko Pops inside of an unusually tall public storage unit.
Yeah. Like I put the cardboard boxes together. Yeah.
And now you said that you're planning a backyard barbecue. So what does that mean to you?
That means that they actually the slumlord, as you would insist on calling him, is actually giving me permission to use both the roof and the backyard. Which the backyard.
What
by the way,
is the
really
backyard of this storage facility?
You mean like the parking lot?
Yeah, parking lot. Yeah, it's essentially the parking. But he's like clearing it out. Like I have a good 4 or 5 spots that I can spread out with. So
is the person that you're subletting from, is this the owner of the public storage facility, in which case you would be the primary renter, or is it the person who is renting the individual storage unit?
You're asking a lot of questions. I know that I have a key and I walk in.
You don't even know.
And I drop a big envelope of cash on the first of every month, right on the door.
I'm fascinated by this and would gladly talk about this for 90
Yeah,
minutes.
let's explore this in the weeks to come. There's a lot here.
So you're having this backyard barbecue in the parking lot of Public Storage. You're also having a roof. As well. Why the separation, and what is different about each level of the party?
Is the roof like the VIP section?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's where Dylan sits, presumably.
No, we're cooking in the parking spots, and then we have like several ladders leading up to the roof, and then on the roof, and then there's a flat Earth dance party on the roof. It's gonna be great.
Can't, for the sake of time, I can't ask you any more questions about this. Alex, how's your week been going?
Fine.
No, really, we're interested. Last we heard from you, you were seeking a candidate for the special election for the mayor of Lynbrook.
Yeah, that's been going well. I don't know if you guys have been following. I know you both lead very busy and strange lives. I mean, it feels like only a few weeks ago I looked at both of you as just two regular people who accompanied me in a skyscraper, and now you're both completely different types of trashy.
Okay.
But
I'm taking offense to that.
To be fair, though, he is the only one of us who currently lives in a home.
Yeah, he's got a point. I guess he got a point.
And that's very crucial to me because I have to start, I have to start being more conscious of how I present myself, because I have decided that there is no one in this town who cares about it as much as I do. So I thought, who better to run the town of Lynbrook than yours truly? So as of today, I am officially announcing my candidacy for mayor of Lynbrook.
Oh my God, this is great!
You.
Congratulations!
Yes. Someone has to stop the
Tyrone Dickey,
the current opposition, Tyrone Dickey, who is running in the anti-Ray party. And also has to put a stop to the legislation put in place by Oscar the Mayor before he escaped into outer space. Oscar the Mayor is also pretty anti-Ray, as you know. We've lived in an anti-Ray town ever since the show ended. And that's why Lynbrook's been pretty quiet about celebrating our heritage.
Yeah.
And
my first... Just that sign on Fowler Avenue is the only real thing, and... Honestly,
regardless, as to oppose my my tiny penis opponent. No, we're
oh my God,
we're
going right for the slum for the. Okay, fine.
We'll cut that out and save it for if you decide to sling mud.
To oppose my opponent Tyrone Dickey, I am running. If I am victorious in my election, I shall be expanding and rebuilding the town hall to be a giant head of Ray Romano, in which the office will be in his head.
So pretty much a Meet Dave situation.
Yes, okay. But in real life, and it is a beautiful bronze color.
Ooh. So
I'm excited.
Is that your entire platform? Is that I know he's trying to build a skyscraper.
I think he was trying to rebuild the Barone Zone, quote unquote, replace the skyscraper and name it the Tyrone Zone.
Right. The Tyrone Zone.
I have a 3-pillar platform, and my first pillar is to transform the town hall, and instead of just simply rebuilding another skyscraper, just to, honor, the history of Lynbrook, by just kind of leaving it blank. No more skyscrapers in our town for a little while.
Okay, a moratorium on skyscrapers. That's pillar number 1.
These are
Yes.
Okay.
that's
number
that's
2.
Okay.
Yes. Pillar number 2.
So far, by the way, the choice is pretty clear so far. Are you pro skyscraper or are you anti skyscraper? And then
I am pro not wasting our city's funds on skyscrapers, and am pro utilizing our city's funds to create a monument for the city that just so happens to be a new office space for me and just me.
Oh, I was picturing several different government offices in.
Well, no, yeah, and everyone else too. You know, it's going to be basically the new town hall with my office being just at the very top.
Okay.
Or rather, the mayor's office. You know, it's not going to be mine
you
forever.
don't want to
I
presume.
will leave. No, of course.
What is pillar number 2 of your platform?
Pillar number 2. Well, that's the genius of my plan, Adam. You know about mystery boxes, and I'm going to be utilizing that to hide my platform away from the people to get more views next week. So tune back in to the next episode of Everybody Loves Raymond to hear about my second platform.
Yes.
My second pillar of my 3-pillar plan.
That's what voters
ballsy.
love, is to not know anything about what the candidate is going to do.
Yeah, I'm pulling a JJ. You're not going to know any of the answers except for some of them right now.
So you're withholding pillars 2 and 3. Are there only 3, or are there going to be, I don't know, 20?
It is a 3-pillar plan,
18.
10 sub-pillars, but we don't need to get into those, and 26 micro-pillars. But a very simple 3-pillar plan.
Pillar
I'm a
1
fan of
has
micro-pillars.
neither sub-pillars nor micro-pillars?
None that's worth mentioning right now. That is correct. I will be taking no more questions at this time. Thank you.
Okay.
I need to work on getting a campaign manager because right now I can't handle all these intense, heated questions.
So all you've done is establish your pillars, sub-pillars, and micro-pillars of your platform, but you don't really know what else to do. Signage, getting on the ballot.
No, I'm on the ballot. I went to town hall and I wrote my name on them myself.
That is the way it's done here.
Mike, are you not familiar with Limbrook politics? Okay, fine. If you wouldn't mind, listeners, going to our forums and signing your name, and giving me your credit card information, the expiration date, and those 3 funny little letters on the back.
Letters.
And I'll be there.
All right. Well,
I heard
that
it
sounds
too.
like a call to action.
Yeah, it's the Wild West out here, boys, as you know, and we're the only ones who can keep it safe. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Well, we'll find out more about that in the next pillar. That sounds very interesting. All right, guys, I think that should wrap up our individual catch-ups. So I think
we have
should
to talk about Raymond now?
I think we got to talk. I think this is still an Everybody Loves Raymond podcast.
Awesome.
I'm pretty sure. So
Here we go.
The heavy
we'll cut to
details
break.
of our personal lives.
We're not going to let Mike talk. We've interrupted him like 10 times in his little outro.
Fine. That's okay.
No,
That's all right.
go.
I was just gonna say thank you guys so much.
We'll be right back after this break.
Hey,
welcome to my bus. Come on the bus.
yeah. Oh, Alex. All right. Hey, I didn't update my monthly Metro card. That's not a problem, right?
Well, you know what? You know how else you can pay for this bus, Mike? You know how else you can pay for it?
How could I pay for it?
You could pay for it by going to wait, Adam, what's it?
Hold on. Excuse me,
I'm on a
ma'am.
bus.
Excuse me.
You're driving the bus, I can tell.
Oh, right. I got to look at the road.
Sorry, I was back there sitting in the expectant mother seat. What is it, Alex? What's up?
I want Mike to do the thing, but I forgot how to tell him. He doesn't have money.
Mike, did you fill up your Metro card? You put it in the slot, and then it gives it back, and then you can get on the bus.
Yeah, no, but I got the monthly pass, and it went to my Omni Pass, but then my phone died, so it's not really working, and I didn't get the physical card yet, so like this is out of money. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, luckily we've been in touch with the MTA, and we've allowed them to accept an alternate form of payment. And Alex and I franchised this bus, just to get a little extra money.
Okay.
I'm on a bus.
Thank you. Yeah,
he's a little. Also,
that was a red light.
Also, we just came from the dentist where Alex had a procedure done.
So many colors.
But you can get on the bus if you are a subscriber to the Baroness Zonus. Are you a subscriber to the Baroness Zonus, dear?
No. How do I become a member of the Baroness Zonus?
Well, it's very simple. You go to postfund.org/donate. I know your phone is dead, so why don't you there's a 97 Dell that's over there that we put on this bus just for this purpose. We took it from a public library that burned down. This was the only thing left standing. So go to postfund.org/donate. Isn't that interesting? Go to postfund.org/donate and
this has got great internet connection for something that was in a fire.
Well, if you look out the window, you'll see that we have an Ethernet cable leading back to the site of the library. The router also survived.
That's awesome. That biker
so
just
it's hardwired
by it.
Oh, yeah. Well,
got him. 5 points.
Oh, Alex is playing the knockout game again.
Woo!
Oh, this bus is nuts. It's crazy that I'm the only person riding this bus before you got here, Mike.
Well, there was the expectant mother. There was the expectant mother whose seat that you took and is now standing at the back because there's only one expectant mother seat on the bus.
There's only one seat on the bus.
And it's for expectant mothers, but, first
and
come,
it's
first
for
serve.
people who are subscribed to the Baroness Zonus.
So you go to postfund.org/donate and you pay what you want. That's the thing. You get lifetime access. It's not a subscription. You get lifetime access for your donation to the Baroness Zonus, which is a monthly extra Baroness episode of Everybody Loves Raymond every month.
That's fantastic. Wow,
That's more than fantastic.
There's a ton of content on here already. I see like 3 or 4 episodes already uploaded.
Whoa, slow down there, Mike.
3 episodes.
What happened?
A ton of there is almost 2 hours of Baroness content waiting for you at this point.
And there's more coming, I'm sure.
So just take that credit card and, put in your number, put in your name, put in those little letters on the back, and go
reference.
Pay what you want. You get lifetime access, and hey, when you get there, you don't even have to let them know that Raymond sent you, because who else would have?
That's awesome. All right.
Well, where are you going, by the way, Mike?
I'm going to the Baroness Zonus. That's where I'm going.
Then get on the bus.
Here we go.
Oh, watch out for Mrs. Henderson. No!
Not again.
Welcome back to Everybody Loves Raymond. This is now the part where we talk about season 2, episode 4 of Everybody Loves Raymond. We're going to go scene by scene, break it down, react, review, and at the end, we're going to rate Ray on our classic barometer. I've never referred to it as that before, but I think at this point,
it's
30
classic now.
Episodes in, it's classic.
It's been half a year. It's classic.
Yeah, it's a classic. I'm Adam Rudy. I'm here with Alex Shear, as always,
That's
and
me.
Mike D.
That is me.
So let's start going through season 2, episode 4. It's called Mozart. And overall impressions of this episode, let's start with Alex. What were your overall impressions of Mozart?
I really like this one. I thought it had some good laughs, but it also had some very sincerely excellent performances, specifically by Doris Roberts and Ray Romano. I think the two of them had awesome chemistry and had just some really like intimate and like real mother-son kind of feelings to it. In this episode, I felt Marie more as a real mother than ever. Like she had some real heart today, and I was all about it.
Yeah, totally. I agree. For me, this was also an episode. It reminded me of Frank the Writer. It reminded me of some of the other more sincere episodes that we've seen. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this is the first time we've seen, like, there's really been a Marie showcase. I mean, it's not all about her. It's not her arc, but it's not the caricature of Marie that's in other episodes. It's not like we play her for laughs as the overbearing mother. It's like, okay, we're really understanding her motivation here. We're learning about her background. We're seeing her connect with Ray at this level. And so for that quality, I mean, a great episode. I think that's the strength of the show that differentiates it a little bit from some other family sitcoms. It has like a real emotional center to it around the family. That's not cheap. It's not really schmaltzy. It's very realistic. The main like climactic scene is almost feels like a play. It's very like intimate and small, and there's not a ton of laugh lines. So I really enjoyed it, and it was still funny. It's a solid premise for any sitcom. Mike, what was your overall impression?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys. I thought it was really, really sweet. It was a good family episode. Yeah, it had some very good moments in there, and complicated relationship, played very well. I did not think there were some very funny moments. Don't get me wrong. But I didn't think this was the funniest episode, but I thought it was very, very well written. And I greatly enjoyed it. Yeah.
Awesome. So let's start going scene by scene through this. We're at our cold open. Ray is laying on the couch. He is watching football, and then Allie runs in, and Marie bursts through the door chasing after her. Apparently, Allie won't finish her piano lesson. She just slammed the piano lid down and ran out of Marie's house. And Marie says something to the effect of, is this how you raise your daughter, or something like that? And Ray, I mean, I feel like this is a very
bad start.
Well, yeah, it's a bad start for sure. He says when the game's on, it's her daughter, referring to Deborah. We don't get, I mean, we've talked about this before, like in the collective memory, this show is kind of a, dumb husband and long-suffering wife sitcom. And I feel like we didn't see that, we haven't seen that much up to this point. This is real. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I actually agree with you. Like, sure, we've criticized Ray, rightly so, but at no point do I actually feel like, it's the stereotypical, drunk husband, oh, the wife's nagging me.
Yeah.
Like, that's, sure, that happens, but it's not the primary focus of the show.
That's not really the voice of the show.
If memory serves, I think that becomes a little more frequent as we progress.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that affects the score.
It seems like a really, like shallow and kind of lazy sitcom line of, the man loves sports, so he's not going to be interested in parenting. And I know it's also like the psychology of Ray in this moment is, it's another thing from across the street coming in and invading his relatively peaceful afternoon. But yeah, it hit my ear wrong because it's not really the voice of the show, at least at this point.
I agree with you.
Yeah. If Marie so yeah, they're trying to convince Allie to go back and finish her lesson, and Marie says, if you don't take your piano lessons, you can't play the piano. And Allie just shrugs and says, okay, and runs away. And they tell Deborah is sort of like trying to talk Marie down because Marie's very upset about this. And she says, let's just let it go. If she doesn't want to do it, she doesn't want to do it. And Marie has a pretty funny like run of oh sure, let it all go, music, culture, civilization. Without discipline, Mozart would have been one of those, and this is rough, bang-ganging rapsters. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's got some real suburban grandma energy.
Yeah, it's got real again. Big SGE. So
that's on a sheesh. That's gonna be on a t-shirt.
SGE.
Rocking the SGE. Yeah, we could sell that eventually. But yeah, no,
sell it today. Doesn't mean anyone will buy it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm with you. It definitely seems like one of those just kind of, grandma lines of like, music's going down the tubes kind of thing. And what does Ray follow it up with? He makes a reference to Snoop Dogg, I think, but I forget what exactly he said.
Yeah, it is stupid.
Okay, right. I forget what exactly it was.
It's like Snoop Mozart or something, like really cringy. It's the whole like end of this scene is very like 90s, like it's not this, but it's like rapping grandma in The Wedding Singer. It's like such a moment in time where it was a real frequent trope to have white people talking about rap music and being awkward about it. So yeah, dumb. But the rest of the scene, I mean, I thought Allie's performance or Madeline Sweeten's performance in this scene, we've talked about how great the kids are on this show, was really funny.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this served as a great setup for the rest of the show, and I like and appreciate how the show's been doing that more with their cold opens, like having them connect directly to the plot. It allows us to get a little bit more in depth with the stories because we just get that little extra bit of time at the beginning.
Now, we've talked about that too, of like, if they just had 2 more minutes in this episode, it would have been a more satisfying conclusion. And I like when they just use the cold open for that purpose to get, another 60 seconds in the episode, rather than having these little bottled gags that can just be plugged in wherever. So, next scene, we cut to Deborah is talking to Allie in the kitchen. It looks like she's doing some... Oh,
I'm sorry.
Did we get?
Correct me if I'm wrong. We didn't get an intro, did we?
No,
we didn't get like a theme.
Second no intro episode in a row. Very interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting to me. Yeah.
Hey, I'm not complaining. I hate that anti-gravity opening.
No, neither am I at all. But it's just interesting to me that they did that.
I hate that. Yeah. Neither do I. So we cut to Deborah is talking to Allie in the kitchen, and it looks like she's trying some active listening. Am I wrong?
It does seem that way. We kind of get a little bit of a reference to it.
Yeah. Allie says that piano's boring, and Deborah says if you really don't like it, you don't have to do it. And Allie says yay and runs off. And Ray is surprised that Deborah just let her quit because he doesn't want her to grow up to be a quitter.
And bothered by that, for that matter, too. It seems very important to him that Allie learns about commitments and sticking with it and all that stuff, too.
It's an interesting question, and we're gonna talk about parenting now. Should we do our standard
warning, or should we just pretend that we're the experts?
No, I mean, we're gonna give our opinions about this and not claim that we are necessarily right, but this is our reaction to this. I think that what you're supposed to do, or something that seems like it is kinder to me, is to not force your child to do something that they don't want to do, but if they really don't want to do it, to redirect them to a different activity. I think this like paradigm of if you try something and you don't like it, you have to continue doing it because it's more important that you not be a quitter. I don't know how valuable that is. I think for me, I didn't have anything like that growing up where I was forced to do something that I didn't like because I had made a commitment. And obviously, this is different if it's like, baseball or something. I don't know baseball, but you tell me.
I was gonna say
where if there's a financial component, then sure, stick it through to pay, to get the value of what you paid for if they're not going to give you your money back. That's one thing. Taking piano lessons from your grandma is not the same thing. Sure, it evidently hurts her feelings, but yeah, I don't know if in this situation the trade-off of don't be a quitter is worth more than, forcing Allie to do something she doesn't want to do.
I hear what you're saying, and I for the most part agree, right? Because you don't want the kid to resent the thing. On the flip side, so there are two things that came into my mind here, right? Number one is I definitely do understand where Ray is coming from, because you do want the kids to understand that, if you sign up for something, if you promise someone something, then you have to follow through with it. Like you said, the financial commitment of a team sport is one thing, and that's absolutely true. But there's also the idea of you promised your team members that you'd be here. You got to be there. You got to stay up to your word. You're right. It is different for piano lessons. But the bigger issue that I saw in this scene was not necessarily Allie doesn't like piano. It was that she was incredibly disrespectful to Marie. And that just straight up really wasn't addressed at all. And I thought I was a little surprised that was the issue, that wasn't the primary issue of that interaction. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I wanna backtrack there for a second, just because I liked what you were putting down, Mike, and I wanted to add to it. But you did make a great point about Allie being disrespectful towards Marie, even though we all know Marie and can understand that maybe that could have been warranted, especially since we saw how Marie's piano lesson went later. But I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of something similar happened to me when I was a kid, where I was put in something I really didn't like to do. For me, it was Little League, and I was allowed.
We were on
quit.
the same. We were on the same baseball team, by the way. So this is hurting my feelings a little bit.
Minute of it.
Yeah, just me in particular. That was what ruined
Mike
it.
being there was like the best part that we got to. It was that we got to hang out. And I was allowed to quit only if I looked for and found a substitute that I ended up liking. That's how I started playing tennis, which I did end up really falling in love with. So I think Allie's still very young, so this may not be the solution for her, but I think she could be at that stage where it's time for her to explore a bunch of different interests and find something that maybe she likes if she really doesn't like piano. So to sum it up, I agree with you, Adam.
Yeah, no, I think everyone's making valid points of it really depends on the situation, what the activity is, what the commitment is. I completely lost my place.
Ray talks to Deborah and says that he really, really cares that, and it's important to him that Allie not quit at the first time that she's not enjoying something, and makes a really big point about how, he really wants Allie to continue these lessons. And Deborah's touched that Ray feels so passionately about something dealing with the way that Allie's being raised. So at during this conversation, Robert barges in, just holding a whole big thing of flowers, and just says, "I need a vase," and just the sheer desperation that comes with it. It's
such a strong Robert scene. It's got all of the elements of just awkwardness, stiltedness, and just a ridiculous situation that implies so much is going on off screen with him. Marie, by the way,
there's no time to explain energy.
By the way, Deborah called Allie back after Ray gave his speech about not wanting her to be a quitter. And they start talking about her going back to take piano lessons with Marie, but then Robert bursts in. He is holding these flowers. He says he broke Marie's blue vase while ironing, and he even mimes. His little ironing gesture is pretty funny. And Marie, he alludes, is already upset about the one who quit, Allie. And he says, I don't want to be the one who broke the vase. I'm already the one who broke the bidet. Now...
I forgot about that line. I forgot about that line.
I'd like to hear both of your theories as to how Robert broke the bidet.
Okay, my personal theory is he was doing his business, was not expecting it, felt the splash, went and kicked it, and broke the toilet. That's my theory.
I have a similar theory where it's like it's definitely Robert thought it was a fancy flush button. He felt what you feel when you press a bidet button, and he jumped, and when gravity brought him back down, just the whole thing went with him.
Well,
what was your theory, Adam?
Well, it's a good question of, was the inline bidet invented yet, or was this a separate unit? Because I was picturing the European style separate unit more than because I don't know if they had the one that you just plug in yet.
I guess I don't. I was only thinking about the inline one. I wasn't thinking about.
That's thinking
possible too.
That if it was a separate unit, so Robert. I mean, there's two theories. So either he used the toilet properly and then went over to the bidet to use it, but slipped and fell into it, and the force of his giant body broke it, or he did not use the toilet properly and went directly to the bidet to use it and just,
keep going.
rendered it
Keep
inoperable.
Going.
Jesus.
He made a mistake.
I prefer that option, actually.
Rather than him
option.
smashing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think my scenario is more likely, but that is a funnier scenario.
So, yeah, I mean, however Robert broke the bidet, he is now known in the household as the one who broke the bidet. And he mentions at this point, because they're talking about the piano lessons, and this is a good setup for that gets paid off later. He mentions that when he was taking piano lessons, he got nosebleeds during it. And then he brings up that Ray, was so good at his lessons. And this is when we find out that Ray also took lessons. Allie asks him if he quit, and he admits that he did. So this sets up the I feel like up to this point, this could be an episode about Allie, right? And teaching her perseverance. And then it becomes a Ray episode, because then the internal conflict in Ray is, I quit, I want to be a good example, so I'm going to solve this.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I think the setup for why Ray goes over is phenomenal, and I do applaud him for doing something that he may not initially think he wants to do, simply because he wants to set a good example for his daughter. Because I think if he was just asked by his mom or Deborah to hey, you want to pick piano back up, it would have been a hard no, but he worked through it himself and decided that he wanted to kind of take it back, first because of Allie, and then remembering that, oh wait, he actually really did enjoy those lessons, and he enjoyed spending time with his mom in a non-hostile environment.
That is and no spoilers for the barometer, but that is the piece that makes this really a really touching episode of he really liked the lessons because he got to spend time with Marie. And we cut to the next scene after he admits he quit. Ray and Deborah are in bed. By the way, he's wearing a Hofstra shirt again. So they're sitting in bed. Ray is clearly unnerved. Deborah's reading a book, and he asks her, "How's that book? You like it? How long is it?" And Deborah picks up on the fact that he wants to talk, and he, is conflicted about telling Allie not to quit when he was ... And Deborah says, "A quitter?" And this seemed like if ever this show used canned laughter, it was after this joke, because Deborah says, what, a quitter? And Ray sort of takes a beat and he's like, what's that book about? Gelding? And then there is a laugh from the studio audience as if every single one of them knows what gelding is. I did not know what gelding is. Gelding is...
I don't
know
either.
what gelding is.
Gelding is the process of castrating a horse. It is also used to refer to a castrated horse. I think it's very unlikely that everyone in the audience knew that and thought it was hilarious.
Beyond the fact that, like, I don't even think that that's super funny with context. It's just like, yeah, like, who
knows
know
gelding? Maybe they brought in a bunch of, well, we know now, and you know now.
We know now.
Listener.
Yep.
But maybe they shipped in a bus full of horse farmers. Horse farmers. There's got to be a different word for that. Horse farmers?
Future glue salesman.
Yeah, I don't think they knew what gelding meant. But anyway, Deborah thinks it's about Marie, the reason that Ray quit. And Ray says that actually it was Frank, because Frank hated the idea of him taking piano and, wanted him to go outside and play ball. And we get a little glimpse at that later. But he mentions that some of the best times, like you were just saying, Alex, some of the best times that he had with Marie was at the piano. And he says she loved the music and that made her nice, which is very sweet. And
Which
Deborah
was cute and also kind of funny.
Yeah, it was.
And Deborah kisses him because she finds his feelings adorable. And Ray...
Was this when Ray said, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
I thought that was beautiful.
He really flips. I mean, it doesn't take much, because then he's like, well, don't tell anybody, but yes, I'm full of feelings. And I thought it was funny that once he thinks he's about to have good old sex, he takes off his watch and takes the phone off the hook, as if someone's going to be calling him.
He's got a routine. Yeah.
And then...
At presumably late at night, so he's just like, listen, I don't care who's dying.
I'm not taking any chances.
I'm doing it.
Oh, classic horn dog Ray. But Deborah's like, I have an idea. Ray takes his watch off, but Deborah instead suggests that he start taking piano lessons from Marie again. I thought it was funny that Ray then immediately puts his watch back on.
He's about to go to bed. Why does he need his watch on?
That's a good
That's an
point.
interesting quote. Maybe it's his alarm.
Why can't he put it on? Is it powered by his pulse? Like, why can't he just put it on the side?
Yeah.
That's a good point too.
All right, so Ray puts his watch back on, and we cut to Marie is vacuuming her and Frank's living room, and Ray comes in, and this is dumb. He tries to get her attention by pulling on the vacuum cord, not pulling it out of the wall, which would shut off the vacuum, but pulling the side that's attached to the vacuum, which makes the cord taut, and then he knocks over the entire side table, which obviously gets Marie's attention.
Ray did not go about this correctly.
Just unplug the vacuum.
No, duh. Like, what the... Like, I don't understand any of that. Or tap her on the shoulder. Why do you need to unplug anything?
Yeah. So Dumb spills everything everywhere, puts the table back up, and then he Marie's obviously annoyed by this, and he sort of coyly asks her, what are you doing after vacuuming? Marie says, I reload the bag and go again, which is also the way that I vacuum. I like to go over it 2 or 3 times. We've got this thick shag carpet here in the RV, and it takes a lot to keep it clean.
I guess that's true. True. I was going to say I'm a one and done kind of guy.
Well, you are.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Don't flip that.
Look, Mike has like concrete floors in that storage unit. Very easy to clean up all the stains that form there from his one and done activities.
Nice. Thanks, bud.
It's hard to stain concrete.
But I manage it.
Somehow Mike finds a way.
So Marie, Ray asks then if Marie would be willing to give him a piano lesson, and she immediately thinks that he's making fun of her. Apparently, and this is sad, all the kids in the neighborhood make fun of the old piano lady. I don't know if that's a paranoia thing or if that's actually what happens. But she goes on this.
I believe that all the people in the town make fun of her. I'm not sure if it's because she's a piano lady or not.
It's because she's Marie Barone and she's accompanied by Frank Barone. Even the priests in this town know about them. She has a line. She goes off on this little speech that she says, maybe if kids took piano lessons instead of shooting lessons, we'd be better off. And I felt like if this were a line in a show today, there would be like a 30-second applause break. It seems like such a bare minimum statement about gun violence. I think it's more in line with her, bang ganging rapster thing.
This was definitely played for a joke.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, Adam. If this same line was delivered today in a sitcom, it would be delivered for like applause.
Yeah.
But then Ray has a good comeback where he just says, I don't think they take lessons. I think they just shoot.
Which again, like if this would have been a very special episode, if this were in a sitcom episode today, it would have been an episode about
weird turn.
It's so strange how they're very flippant about it in a way. And I did look it up. And this was pre-Columbine. This was like before, gun violence was as visible as it is and as frequent as it is. So it was kind of jarring, actually. But I think they're talking about it in a different way of, bang ganging rapsters, which is problematic in its own way. But she says, go buy your kids guns and crack. Go ahead, which is just a funny line to come out of Doris Roberts' mouth. So she, says, go buy your kids guns and crack. And Ray says, no, he actually does want to learn how to play the piano because he wants to show Allie the value of not quitting, that he is coming back to this after so many years away from it and, persevering and finishing what he started. So he sits down at the piano. He says, I want to learn. And then she takes a beat where she thinks he's kind of faking it. And then she cries and says, I knew you'd come back. And by the way, this is a very long scene. And there might be a cut in it, but like an edit point in it. But it is also possible that this was one continuous or edited together from multiple takes. Like there's no like cut.
That is true. I think the next natural cut we get is really at the end when we cut to Ray playing the piano. Everything else could have been done at once. You're right.
There might be an edit point when he goes into the kitchen, but even up to that point, it's a very long scene, which gives it that like play feeling of continuity. So she says, I knew you'd come back, and they both sit down at the piano, and as they do, Robert comes home from walking Shamsky and sees them sitting at the piano, and he says, what's this about? And Maurice says something like Ray has rediscovered the joy of music or something. And she looks at him and says, you can never turn your back on your talent. And then immediately turns her back on Robert, which is just a funny physical...
Some good physical humor.
And then Robert says he's thinking of taking up the drums again. He just has to get the cat litter out of it. I can't remember what she says in response to that, or if she just ignores him.
I think this is when she tells him that he's a police officer.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then he leaves. So they are sitting at the piano, and Marie takes out, I guess this is the piece that Ray was working on. Is that right? Or it is the theme from Love Story. You want some fun facts about Love Story?
Of course,
Tell me,
man.
The theme from Love Story is the main instrumental theme from the 1970 film Love Story. That song, that instrumental that was played over the closing credits, guess how high on the Billboard Hot 100 that went in 1971?
Number 2.
Mike?
Number 5.
Well, that's anticlimactic because it was number 13. Still, we hear this song at the end of the episode. Can you believe that that was the 13th best-selling song in the country at that moment in time?
Genuinely,
Yes.
no.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it is.
It's so weird to think about instrumentals
What year was
being
that?
70, maybe 71.
Yeah, I don't look up. Like, just this might.
You want
be
to see the
something
other?
to cut out? No, I want to see. I want to see the other songs, and I want to see how far. I'll look this one up. I want to see how Jurassic Park peaked.
Do you think, is that something you know, that the Jurassic Park theme charted?
No, I just know that it's like widely regarded as one of the best instrumental movie soundtracks of all time. So, wow. Jurassic Park hit number 36.
Really?
Wow.
I was theme from Romeo and Juliet, theme from Love Story, peak position.
Jurassic Park theme actually hit number 1 in 2015 after the debut of the Chris Pratt reboot.
Oh.
Go ahead. Look at that.
In January of 1971, the theme from Love Story peaked at number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100. Let me tell you what the... I would ask you to guess, but I don't think you would know the point in time.
We might guess too high, yeah.
So number 13 is the theme from Love Story. Number 12 is Proud Mary by Ike and Tina Turner. Number 11 is Have You Ever Seen the Rain by Creedence Clearwater.
Whoa.
I'm going to jump ahead.
Those are some good polls. And Love Story ranked with them?
Number 5 was If You Could Read My Mind by Gordon Lightfoot. Number 4 is Just My Imagination by The Temptations. Number 3 is Me and Bobby McGee by Janis Joplin. Mama's Pearl by the Jackson 5 is number 2. And number 1 is One Bad Apple by the Osmonds. This is One Bad Apple by the Osmonds.
Let's listen.
Right.
Here we go.
Played the entirety of the song.
I can tell you've been hurt by that look on your face, girl. Some guy brought a saying to your happy world. You need love, but you're afraid.
This was only 12 places more popular than the theme from Love Story. Let's get to the chorus. Is this a pro-cop song?
Oh my god.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's One Bad
play that
Apple
at
by the
the-
Osmonds. They should play that at the
The Blue Lives Matter,
policeman's
yeah.
ball.
Yeah.
Stupid. Where are we?
We were
That's
talking
the
about
theme
Love
from
Story.
Okay, so number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100, which seems ridiculous. So Andy Williams eventually recorded a version with lyrics that went to number 9. The film was nominated for 7 Oscars, including all of the Best Acting categories, Best Picture, Best Screenplay, and Best Original Score, which it won. The film is the origin, or the film and the book that it's based on is the origin of the quote, "Love means never having to say you're sorry." And then the book was a massive commercial success. This is interesting. But after it was nominated for a National Book Award, all of the judges threatened to resign, calling it, quote, a banal book. Which
Banal.
simply, banal? It is not banal, Mike.
Probably banal.
a banal book which simply doesn't qualify as literature, and suggested that even by being nominated, it would have demeaned all the other novels under consideration, which is harsh. All right, so that's Love Story, and that's what this is the theme from. They sit down to play it. Ray's posture apparently is still good, and they open up the sheet music, and he misidentifies a C. Marie is like, does it have a line through it? And he says no, or yes. Sorry, he says yes, and she reminds him about face and EGBDF, which are the mnemonics that you learn in music class for reading sheet music. Face is the open lines on the staff, and EGBDF is the ones with the lines through it. Ray remembers it as Ellen Garvey's behind deserves framing. Is "I don't like that, Raymond" a catchphrase for Marie moving forward?
It does.
Okay, because it sounded very familiar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it starts here, and it really just, it comes back now and again. Okay.
And Marie reminds him of the one that she taught him, which is "Every girl bakes delicious fudge." And Ray starts to say another one, "Eric Gunsel boinked ... and Marie does not like that.
We'll never know who Eric Gunsel boinked.
Maybe Ellen Garvey.
Justice for Eric Gunsel.
Dellin Fagarvey. DF. Any famous DFs? I don't know. But what was the one that I learned it as "Every good boy deserves fudge"? Do you remember?
Yeah, I heard that one. It was face and the fudge one.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember any of that, honestly. I mean, I took it when I was in third grade, so I don't remember any of it. But yeah,
these acronyms are very gendered. The girls are baking fudge and the boys are receiving fudge. There should be a new one. Everybody.
The boys are getting the good end of the deal.
Everybody goes bananas doing Frank.
That's it. We got it.
Oh, wait. There's Barone right there. Everybody go be
Adam.
Doing... Wait, I forgot Barone. Everybody go Barones.
Anyway, next scene.
Yes. Well, still in the same scene. So
progressing.
Marie bumps him down to a simpler song because he can't get this note properly. And she gives him the choice between Pretty Polly or Eskimo Boy. Jesus Christ. I looked these up.
I'm glad that Raymond chose Pretty Polly.
Well, yeah, he almost goes back. These are original tunes written by John W. Schramm. And if you notice, all of the books are from the John W. Schramm piano course. He lived from 1905 to 1980 and wrote many, many books and hundreds of pieces of sheet music for these piano courses.
That's actually pretty cool.
And they are colored, in their names, they're color-coded. So she bumps him down to the purple book, which, by the way, is pink.
It looks pink, I was going to say.
The orange book, and skips the blue book, saying that he needs to earn the blue book because he keeps failing at each of these. And Marie sort of bemoans the fact that he had talent, he had beautiful fingers, and he's throwing it away again. And then she storms out. At this point, Frank jogs in, mostly naked, and says, "The rat go home," because he thinks it was a kid who was taking a piano lesson, and he hates the sound of those little kids on the piano going blink, 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 and he wants to replace the piano with a big vibrating chair.
Yeah, we learn a little bit about Frank's perspective on Marie's. I guess this is her job. Is she just a piano teacher? Is that her thing?
Yeah, I don't know if she charges.
Is this
for
a hobby?
She probably makes it's probably a nice side hustle. Maybe $10, $20 a lesson. I think that's common. I took music lessons at a school, a music studio. So it was more formal than that. I didn't go to anyone's house, but and Mike, you learned by doing.
Yes.
On stage at the Garden, and Alex learned by watching me through a window.
Yes.
So we're all talented musicians.
We learned a lot from each other.
Like a family.
Ray takes this opportunity to ask, how come when I was taking piano lessons as a kid, you never, and Frank cuts him off and says, killed myself? Which
explains, I think, everything we need to know.
Yeah, just right there. You could have ended the scene right there, honestly. But yeah, they have a good conversation, and Frank says, why would I, basically Ray's like, why didn't you support me? And Frank brings up the pretty good point of like, I did support you. You were interested in sports, and I made sure that in his crass way of saying, brings up the point of like, yeah, I did take you to baseball games. I did teach you how to play baseball and football and basketball and all these different sports. And I think the point where I was just like, damn, he right, was when he said something like, if you haven't noticed, you have a very successful career as a sports writer. Not saying that that's like, you know, a reason to stop someone from playing the piano, but I did think it's interesting that, you know, Ray's livelihood very much came from Frank in a way that I don't think I ever pieced together until this scene. You know, like there really is a straight line of Ray's career and his passions directly to his father, for better and for worse, for that matter. But I thought that was an interesting point to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that Frank clearly encouraged him to do sports for, you know, motives aside. He encouraged him to do sports, and Ray liked sports and made a career out of or adjacent to doing sports. But
so
Ray's
questionable motives, but it worked out for him. So it's weird.
Yeah, and Ray's point, I think, is valid. Is I could have done music and sports, and Frank, I think, dismisses this. He says, not unless you wanted to play the organ at Shea Stadium, which is kind of, it seems dismissive and reductive. He could have done both. And Frank makes a little, this is the motive clearly is that Frank doesn't, barring all examples of men who play the piano coming from a variety of backgrounds, Frank clearly thought that piano playing was not a worthwhile masculine endeavor, and Ray should do sports to the exclusion of playing the piano. And he makes a little homophobic gesture when saying, why didn't I just sign you up for ballet class? It felt very much like a scene from a school assembly little play teaching a lesson about encouraging your children, or what it's like to have a father who doesn't encourage you. Like, I don't know.
It's like you're right. We are getting a couple different opportunities for a very special episode of Raymond, of Everybody Loves Raymond. Yeah,
it is in a way a very special episode.
It feels special.
Yeah. So I mean, Frank encouraged Ray to do sports, and Ray did like sports, and it worked out for him in that regard. But clearly Ray feels the absence of this other, interest that he wanted to pursue, but was not encouraged. But then Ray goes into the kitchen to apologize to Marie, and she apologizes to him. She says her mother had ridiculous expectations of her when she was learning the piano, and she always disappointed because she says she had short fingers, but she just wanted to impart her love of music to her sons. And Ray says, yeah, but Dad discouraged me. And Marie says that it wasn't just Frank. Ray lost interest in the lessons because he, wanted to go outside and run, punch, and spit with the other boys. Marie says he only really liked the idea of the piano rather than like putting the work in, and he liked the lessons. And, this is this very sweet moment of, I liked spending time with you doing this. But Marie eventually let him go, run outside, play sports and whatever, rather than teach him the piano, because she didn't want to be like her mother, which this is that insight into Marie that I feel like we've never gotten before. Although, actually, no, I take that back, because in the Thanksgiving one, although that was Marie's mother-in-law, so sort of the same, sort of different. But, like, anytime that's what this show does well, is, like, it's not just this surface level thing. Like, we learn about these characters as we go on.
Absolutely.
So she closes this very sweet discussion by saying, just know, you could have been something. And she, she says something like, it's so important to have music, and waxes poetic about music. And then Frank yells at her from the other room to bring him more pretzels. By the way, it looked like when he sat down in the living room after Marie went into the kitchen, that looked like a full bag of pretzels to me. So I'm picturing
very
Frank
impressive appetite,
just housing these pretzels in one. But they argue.
No, I get it.
For a second.
He says he's watching the Jets. That's a stressful experience. You stress eat when watching the Jets.
Hey, you.
It's yeah.
Yeah. When I went and I second acted West Side Story and brought a bag of Snyder's of Hanover with me, and that was was stressful to watch the Jets.
Yeah, it sure was.
All right. Ray, but she argues with Frank through the screen, and then Ray sort of interjects and says he still wants to take lessons so that he can show Allie like the perseverance piece and not being a quitter and stuff. Robert comes in just as they are hugging and sort of reconciling, and he says, "Don't worry, Dad, I got your pretzels." Clearly continuing to be jealous of Ray and Marie's connection. So we cut to Ray is playing. There's no mention of this, by the way, so if you didn't know the theme from Love Story, you didn't understand the significance of this.
I thought it was just a fancy piece, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I thought, I like that it's kind of like just a subtle thing, because I wouldn't have known that either if not for you and, by extension, this show.
Yeah, I went and looked it up afterwards and listened to it to confirm. So the implication there being Ray progressed from the Orange Book all the way up to the theme from Love Story. So this must be taking place over a very long time horizon, but it's very, do we think Ray is actually playing this? I couldn't find any confirmation that it looked like he was.
I think so.
I'm willing to put money on it that he was. I looked too. I wasn't able to find any confirmation that he does or does not play, but it seems that way.
It felt very sincere. Like the piano that I heard, it felt like it was played by someone who wasn't a professional pianist, but someone who practiced a lot recently, if that makes sense. And if you don't play piano, it's very hard to do those kinds of piano motions convincingly. So I'd buy it.
I think it is. It looked real, and it seems like it would be a lot harder for him to mime it convincingly than just play it. So I would believe it. I'm looking to see. We can't ask. This was written by Phil and Ray, so we can't exactly ask the writer on this one.
Yeah.
I guess we'll never know. If you worked on this episode, drop us a line, because we would like to know if Ray actually played. We think he did. But I think it's funny as Ray is playing. Robert is sitting stone-faced right next to him, serving as his page turner.
Which was great.
The simmering resentment that Robert has throughout this episode is played really well. But Ray finishes his piece, and everyone applauds for him. They ask Allie what she thinks. Indifferent, and then Frank asks who wants to play t-ball, and all the kids run outside. So the effort was in one way futile, but Ray learned a lesson and connected with his mom, so it's all great. And then we go to our hot close.
I thought it was still a sweet moment.
Yeah, we go to our hot close, which is Robert. He's playing the drums for his family, and I thought it was a funny flip to then have Ray sitting next to him to be his nosebleed stopper. as opposed to his page turner. Do we think Brad Garrett was actually playing the drums? I believe it.
Yeah.
That one was definitely, yes. I definitely think that one was.
Right.
Yeah, I also think that, like, I'm like willing to put money on it that Ray was doing it because, like, his fingers matched up with all of the notes. It's just that it was just, and maybe this is rude of me to say, but it's just that it was too good for me to undoubtedly say, without beyond a shadow of a doubt, that it was Ray Romano.
Yeah, okay.
I have a piece of trivia to share.
I would like to hear it.
Piece of trivia is that in that hot close, when Robert is playing the drums, there's actually clearly a mistake. There's clearly a crew member walking behind the set because you can see their silhouette passing by in the window. And so, yeah, just thought that was a little piece of funny random.
Oh, yeah. That's ridiculously, what a ridiculous oversight.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like a, end of the episode, we're going to have Brad play the drums, everybody on your feet kind of thing, but that didn't seem to be the energy. It didn't seem very loose. It seemed like a regular scene, so somebody got fired that day.
Or at the very least in trouble.
Yeah. But yeah, that's that episode. That's season 2, episode 4. That was Mozart. So let's go ahead and turn to our classic barometer and rate Ray on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the terrible men of television, and 10 being the great sitcom dads of all time.
Here we go.
For me, I'm going to say that Ray is nice in this episode. So father, I don't know. I mean, he makes the effort kind of for Allie and kind of for himself. So you're right to, when you brought up that they don't really seem to address her yelling at Marie, and he's pretty ineffective at, intervening at the time. So fine as all things being equal, fine as a father. I thought he had a nice relationship with Deborah in this episode, and then obviously as a son, really, really nice. He got that connection with Marie. I'm going to give him a 7.
Okay,
Mike.
That's pretty high. I'm actually gonna give him an 8. I'm gonna be honest. I think that he did a really, really good. I think he was a very good father in this, and son for that matter. Taking these extra steps beyond what he really had to do. I mean, he had the out of just saying, "Well, sorry, Ellie doesn't want to do it. We'll find something else." And instead taking the extra step to be like, no, I want to, use this opportunity to leave something for my daughter and use the same thing to connect with my mom. I thought that was fantastic. So yeah, I thought it was touching. It was sweet. I thought he did a lot of great things. Sure, never really addressed the disrespect at the beginning of the episode, but at the end of the day, he did way more good than he did bad. So I'm going to give him an 8.
Awesome. Alex.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think overall, Ray did a great job. He saw kind of a situation with his daughter that going in a direction that he didn't agree with, and kind of using his own past as reference, and using his children as inspiration to better himself and relearn something that he did enjoy and help kind of reconnect with his mom. So he used family to get, a better connection with other family. And I don't say used in like a literal sense. Mm-hmm. Like he found an opportunity through family to grow his connections. I'm gonna take a couple points up just for some Raymondisms that we saw throughout the episode. The lackluster TV dad tropes, and other little things like just getting super sex focused in the bedroom.
Well, Mike,
way too quickly.
How do you feel?
I would say it's pretty good to want to screw your wife. I think that's a general positive thing.
7.
Okay. 7.
All right. Well,
what is that?
That puts us at Ray's rate for this episode at a 7.3.
All
That's pretty high.
That's
not
one
bad.
of
Nice.
the. I mean, he jumped up from last week for sure. That was
that's true. Last week he sucked.
But that's it for us. Look, you heard about it before. Go to postfund.org/donate if you want an extra episode of this show every month. Hit us up on the forums if you've got a Judge Deborah or a Remembrance. And, hey, this is coming out this week, so we are doing a Judge Deborah over on the Baroness Zonus feed. So head on over there, pay what you want. Any amount in excess of $1 and get access to that, lifetime access to the Baroness Zonus. Barone Zone on Instagram and Facebook, Raymond at postfund.org. Raymond at postfund.org. Anything else to add, Mike and Alex? Thank you as always for being here.
Happy to, man.
No. Thank you guys so much for listening, and join us back again next week.
All right.
Then that would leave us with only one last thing to say. It's our classic sign-off. And so one last time, everybody.
Loves
Raymond.
And we love
you.
Hey guys, thanks for coming. Dylan, good to see you. Josh, lovely wife as always. Josh Ita, it's great to see you guys.
What do you think about Dylan Ita, Michael?
Dylan
wife.
Ita, I don't think listen.
My
Dylan
wife.
Ita, okay, Dylan, your wife is gorgeous. Your wife is gorgeous. Thank you for bringing her. You know what? I just hey Derek, you might want to stay away from the ice wall there. You might want to come
fuck
on
you.
back. Okay.
I do what I want.
Wow. All right. This is way more aggressive.
That's Derek.
All right. Listen.
Hey, that's me, Derek. I sound like this.
Okay. So listen. I noticed there's not a lot of partying going on, but listen. I've gotten into like EDM recently. I'll go queue up a couple tunes. You guys like Daft Punk?
Yes, we love the what is that called? Get Fortunate. What is it called?
Yeah. Get lucky. Yeah. And,
yes.
One More Time, Harder, Better, Faster. Ooh, this is a good one. Let's just
I
get
only
started.
listen to the Tron Legacy soundtrack. What's this?
I'll give this a try.
What is what's coming on right now?
This is a good one.
What's coming on over the public storage speakers?
All right, everybody, let's go. Conga line.
What the fuck? Michael? This
What's
my
wrong?
god.
Got
Hey!
some explaining to do.
What's the
round
problem?
the world?
Why are you-
the world around.
Why are we mad? What are we
The
mad?
world.
I think you
Round.
mean across.
I think you mean the world is flat. What the fuck
How
is this
dare
shit?
you?
It's
Mike.
Hey guys, it's just Daft Punk. Guys, chill out.
Mike,
Let's kill him.
let's
Oh my god,
kill
hold
him.
on. No.
Get out
no.
your flat weapons, everybody. Swords only.
I've got my special flat bat.
Flat cricket.
You mean it?
Get out your cricket bats
bat.
and swords, everybody. Yeah, get out your cricket bats and swords. Kick his ass.
Foiled again by Daft Punk.